Hi guys, this is Random Chat and I'm making yet another rant and rave video about what's going on in this country, Britain. Some of you may have seen a few weeks ago how this little girl ended up on the news, not for something she did wrong, simply because the school she goes to did something wrong. This little girl had a culture day at her school where she could discuss about her culture and where she's from and say why she was proud of it. So she went to school dressed in what can be considered as a Spice Girls style dress, a Union flag dress covered in sequins. And please note, it is a Union flag when it's on land, only a Union Jack when it's on a boat or a ship. Just wanted to clear that piece up because many people who've been speaking about this have said she was wearing a Union Jack dress. No, it was a Union flag. So I thought I'd just clear that little bit up. Right, back to what I was saying. She went to school dressed in this Union flag dress. She had written a speech saying why she was proud to be British. When she was at school, she was pulled to one side and given a lecture by her teacher saying it wasn't about her culture. She was removed from her class, sent to reception, and then her father was called, and she was then picked up by him because she was sent home. This little girl, for being British and wanting to celebrate her identity within this day of culture, was sent home, punished by her teacher, humiliated in front of her classmates, made feel as if she's done something wrong, even go as far as being made feel ashamed of what she wore and the fact that she wanted to share it with her classmates. This young girl is said to be a straight A student. She's not a far-right racist. She's not some activist. She wasn't there in that dress trying to provoke somebody by waving the Union flag in front of their faces. She just went to school proud to be British. Nothing more than that. But disgracefully, this school punished her for being British. They sent her home. It was made perfectly clear that her culture didn't matter and that the school wasn't interested in her culture, meaning being British. Now, if that was a pupil that went to school wearing a hijab or some other national dress of their country, which they were originally from or their family was originally from, and treated in the same manner, all hell would have broken out. But because she's British, I guess the school didn't think anything of it and thought nothing would come of what they had done. If you take your child out of school without permission, you are classified as disrupting their education. So what was this teacher doing? By sending her home, punishing her, she was disrupting her education. She could be learning about other people's cultures and where they're from and their traditions. But no, she was separated from all her classmates. And this is totally wrong, and it shouldn't happen in this country. Yet it's another issue with being in Britain these days. If you're a British citizen, you do not count anymore. You are pushed to one side. And when you stand up and speak out about what's going on, you're called racist, far right. Well, there was nothing far right or racist about this little girl. I believe she's 12 years old. She's just a proud British girl who just wanted to celebrate her identity with all her friends. So why was this allowed to happen here in Britain? Well, the answer to that is that our rights, our beliefs are now being stepped on, especially since Labour have took control of this country. Keir Starmer clearly hates British people, the British way of life, and what we all stand for. Which is ironic, really, considering that he is British himself. And I know that might be extreme to say that about him. Why would he do all the negative stuff he's doing to affect British people and favour all the illegal immigrants, asylum seekers that are coming here? We've seen how he calls white protesters racist, far-right activists. But when you see Pakistani protesters on the street, he says nothing about it, simply because he favours the Islamic community over British community. So this little girl should have not been sent home. She should not have been punished while wanting to share her identity with her classmates. So this little girl went home upset and distressed simply because of her teacher. And clearly her father was quite angry about it. I think any father would be if your daughter is sent home for no reason and has been punished for no reason by the teacher we have entrusted to look after the children. So what has happened to this teacher? Has this teacher been dismissed for her behaviour or his behaviour? Clearly this teacher wasn't doing what he or she is paid for, which is to care for the welfare of our children when they are in the school. When we send our children to school here in Britain, we want to know that they're going to be treated equally and fairly. But clearly this is not the case, because this girl was separated from her classmates simply because of her culture. So what is going to happen about this teacher's action against this pupil? Are they going to dismiss them? Because obviously they are totally neglecting their duty at treating their pupils equally and fairly. This teacher clearly targeted this pupil because of her culture. and wanted to remove her from the class. Now this is a disgrace to the British educational system. So my opinion is that this teacher should be dismissed for what they did, just to set an example. But has the school done this? As far as I'm aware, no. But they did offer a lame apology for their actions. Apologies that they made under protest simply because they would have kept their mouths shut. If the father hadn't complained about the actions towards his daughter, they probably wouldn't have said anything. So it's safe to say they wouldn't have apologized if it wasn't made public. But this little girl should have not been punished for wearing that dress. She had done nothing wrong. For wanting to celebrate her culture, her background. She was clearly upset that they denied her her rights to give a little speech that she wrote about why she was proud to be British. But then it's all backfired on the school really, hasn't it? Because Tommy Robinson stood up and asked this little girl if she would attend his next meeting. Not only does he want her to attend his next meeting, he wants her to read out her speech in front of thousands of people with pride. Pride that she should be feeling for being British. So it's nice to know that an Englishman, Tommy Robinson, stood up and made this girl feel that she had nothing to feel ashamed of because of her identity, her culture. So she will be standing up there next to Tommy Robinson, full of pride, full of honour, and she will read that speech out, why she is proud to be British. And I hope she wears that dress, the Union flag, with pride, with honour, for thousands of people to see. And I hope the school hasn't dampened her pride. If anything, I hope it has encouraged her to be even more proud of who she is and to stand up for her rights as a British citizen. There are many people in this country, British people, could take a leaf out of her book and start standing up and being proud of who they are. Too many of us are made feel to hold our heads in shame for being British. Too many of us are being made feel we have to keep our mouths shut about what's going on in this country because of socialists like Keir Starmer who wants to point the finger at us and call us racist and far right. We as British citizens have the right to be proud of who we are, and we have the right to be proud of our flag, and definitely not be called far right or racist by any small-minded, socialist, left-wing, brainwashed idiots. These people who follow Keir Starmer are the destruction of our country, Britain. They're the traitors of our country. These people are more than happy to destroy our culture. These people are the ones who deny this little girl her rights to be proud to be British. It is a shame that this girl was made feel how she did by this teacher in the school, and it shouldn't have happened. But unfortunately, these things happen all the time here in this country. British people are pushed to one side, and asylum seekers, illegal immigrants, whatever you wish to call them, are getting favoured over us. And on top of this, we have the media, the press, television, all reporting what Keir Starmer tells them to report, that anybody who stands up for their rights, and they are called racist, and when they go out and protest, and when they end up being provoked and things turn violent, it's always turned to the side of the protest who are to blame for what has happened. And we never see the real story. We only see what the press wants us to see and hear what they want us to hear. And under Keir Starmer's two-tier ruling, he definitely makes sure that the British voice is not heard. The British voice is suppressed. So I hope with the actions of this girl's school does not suppress who she is, which is a British citizen, a proud British citizen. And I hope it makes her pride even stronger. And full credit should go to Tommy Robinson for standing up for this little girl and her rights to be British. Because this is our Britain. I'm an Englishman. I was born and bred here, and I will die in this country. And I will not have my rights as being an Englishman taken away from me or denied by anyone. And I will not keep quiet about my disgust in what is happening in this country. Disgust what happened to this little girl. That school is a disgrace. But what is quite concerning is about how many other schools have done this to other pupils and the pupils haven't said anything, or the parents haven't said anything. How many other pupils have been punished within their school for being British? It is safe to say if that child was from any other culture, Pakistan, Iran, or any other country, and was separated from the class in the way this little girl was separated, I can guarantee that teacher would have been dismissed for her or his behaviour towards our pupil. But because this girl is British, it will be brushed under the carpet and hopefully forgotten about. That girl will remember what happened to her for a very long time. And I hope that girl will stand up and encourage more British people in the future to also be proud of who they are. And the ironic thing is, you have people like Keir Starmer calling us far-right racist, and by suppressing what we say, stamping on our culture, wanting to destroy our identity, what he is doing is creating these far-right tendencies. Maybe that is what Keir Starmer is planning, so he can prove everyone right that we are all far-right racists. But at present, we are not far-right racists. We are just proud British people, and you will not stop that, Keir Starmer. Nor will your maggot protesters, the left-wing softies, the socialists, will stop us from feeling proud of who we are. You will not destroy who we are, and you definitely will not destroy that little girl's pride. If anything, you'll probably encourage her more to stand up for her rights and who she is. And I hope she does, and I hope many people follow in her footsteps, because people like Keir Starmer is doing his best to destroy her future as a British citizen. He is doing his best to destroy her country. This is Britain. Be proud of who you are. Wave your flags high. And if you are offended by our flag, then pack your bags and leave, because the Union flag is our flag, and we will keep flying it with pride. And that pride will get stronger and stronger and grow bigger and bigger. We've already seen that with the protests that are going on and the marches, with the hundreds, the thousands of Union flags and the George crosses being flown with pride. You will not break our pride. That is all I have to say on this matter. Thank you for watching. I'm Random Chat.